Okay, for the last part, all I want to say is that if you don't apply this the way that you would know it by now, there is nothing that is still gonna help you with the charts. Please know this. If you know this and you show me your results, at least reach 500,000 rands or $500,000. Reach it. If you reach it, I may give you 1 million rand. If you reached it with this strategy, I will give you 1 million rand. And another thing I would like to say, I may tell you about this. This is very confidential and I never wanted to share about it. You will never find anything like this. But I can give you this anyway, and still you would lose in the market. That is because of not knowing reality. I may show you the strategy, it's very simple, but if you don't know how to trade the market, it will kill you. That not knowing how to create, because finally now you're now having a picture of what to expect in the market in terms of bars. Those lines, I did say that they are in, okay, these the bars of the market or the candlesticks of the market, I've made them in terms of lines so that you can understand. But the consolidation phase, the consolidation notes will help you to know everything of what I mean by that, this by that. So guys, please understand this by heart and mind. If you did it very well and you get into 500,000 rand, I will give you 1 million rand. I will reward you with 1 million rand cash. Not a problem, I will give you that. So what I want you to understand is that your patience is required in the market. Application is important and patience is important. So if the market would sell, let's look at the N pattern, the normal N. If the market would sell, that's like waiting for the whole hour. Sometimes it can take you 30 minutes. That's quick. Sometimes it can take you a lot of time for the market to finally make sense for you to trade. But trade when the market finally makes sense about what you were taught before you even act, so that when you act and sell and the market goes wrong, you will know that it was the market, it was not you. So it's rather be the market that is having a problem, that is being mistaken, and not you. And another thing I would like to say that you have to know the rules. You will never make money if you don't put in that stop loss. Me, I don't put in the stop loss because I know how to risk. Usually I don't advise anybody to risk more than 30% of their balance in a trade. So it's 30% down, but don't risk 10%. It's either 20% to 30% in this strategy I'm giving. It's either 20% to 30%. You do 10%, okay, you can do 10% if you're still trying to get used to it, but I don't advise anybody to do more than 20%, more than 30%. And another thing, when you enter the trade, listen to me, when you enter the trade, your stop loss, let's say the market was selling, okay, look at the N pattern, the market was selling, then came back to retested zone. That means here, as you enter for a sell, risk at least not at least, your maximum risk must be 150 points stop loss. Your stop loss must be 150 points from the current price you enter a trade with. You enter the trade with 150 points. Every time your stop loss must be in. you will see that the markets will hit your stop loss 2% in 98% wins. So that means 2% will be your loss that time. But please make sure that you make cash. And another thing, close your trades. It's all about growing the account. And another thing, you're not creating a bank. Stop having dreams of making a lot of money in this without even withdrawing. Okay, you can make a lot of money, but the way I do it, okay, I have my own strategy of how I trade. Okay, but usually I withdraw after a month usually. But people, I advise them to withdraw when they finally see profit. You withdraw when you see profit. It's all about growing your bank account, not your trading account. It's never profit until it's in your bank account. So you have to know that rule, people. If you don't know that rule, you won't survive in the market. And another thing, the stop loss is 150 points. From your entry. Patience is needed. Application is needed. Patience, application, make money, close your trades. Usually I close at 60 points. I mean, these patterns are always valid in the market. Every day they are always valid in the market, and I can trade anytime. That means they are always valid in the market. And if I take 60 points in the first trade, the second trade I will take another 60 points, and the third one I'll take another 60 points. I'll take a lot of 60 points as I can get in that day if the market still makes sense for me to trade my pattern, my N pattern, my abnormal pattern, or the shoulder pattern. So you have to know that. Guys. The N pattern is always visible. It's just that the shoulder pattern is not usually visible, but it's not usually valid in the market. But sometimes it's valid at times. But the N and the abnormal, they are always visible in your charts. You have to know your consolidations. Please work on your consolidations, know them. One last thing, what can it be? Okay, one last thing. Please know everything, guys. That's all I can tell you. Withdraw your money. One last thing, here is it. Trade one asset. Don't put in 5 assets to trade. Don't put in 6 pairs to focus your N pattern and your abnormal pattern, your abnormal N pattern. You will never be profitable. Trust me. You need to stick into one asset for that day, or for that week. Usually I stick in one asset. That's what makes me profitable. I stick to one asset. If it's Euro USD, that week, all of that week I'm using Euro USD. I'm eating Euro USD to its dead the whole week, trying to find N patterns, trying to find abnormal N patterns. You see, you trade one asset, you focus on one asset. Reason focusing on one asset still help you to know, okay, this is the new part. Okay, I'm gonna act here. After acting, guys, you out. You come back, you do the same thing again in one asset. Don't even put 2 assets. Nobody. Okay, if you put 2 assets, you won't make money. Have one asset for that week. Trust me when I say it. If it's for that day, have one asset for that day. Stop looking at other assets, trying to look opportunities. Rather, choose an asset, make an opportunity on it. Make an opportunity if there is no opportunity. Wait for the market to show you what you need to see and what you have learned before you even enter. I can enter any. If I decided to go with the USD JPY for the week, I would just look at the USD JPY. I won't even try to look at other pairs. I will focus on USD JPY alone, nothing else. So that's what I'm trying to say. So basically, you have to focus on one asset in this strategy. That's the fundamental part. That's the fundamental rule. If you know that part, you're gonna be fine in the market. And another thing, you have to watch your news. Make sure that you watch your news. If you are trading USD JPY, make sure that USD JPY, usually it moves at 2 a.m. If it can create a pattern, or it can create a consolidation